caliber. She's a performance artist and a director. And recently, I'm going to name drop, she's been working with our very own Banksy. Yeah. And Danny Boyle of many, accolades.
Did you meet Banksy?
She didn't meet Banksy.
But I met, probably I did, I don't know.
Is he in
But I met Danny Boy for
Is he in the audience tonight?
So, after the set, the eight songs? Pieces. Thank you, 8 pieces. We're going to we do that, and then we're going to do the little bit of celebration with our cake, a few photos and so on. And then Riham has said that she's willing to stay and talk about her work and show, I think, a couple of videos, Alternativity.
the work that I did with Danny Boyle.
Okay, the work she did with Danny Boyle. And if anybody wants to stay after the show and go a bit deeper with what Rihan's doing, then we're happy. You're very happy to stay on. Okay, so I'm going to stop the chat and let the emotion feel, because at the end I'm going to ask you to say how you're feeling about Palestine at the end of the show, and to write it down on our little sign-up sheets at the back. Okay, thank you very much.
I come from there, from a mother, a father, lots of siblings, and memories. I come from depressed smiles, hopeful cries, resistance, despair, disappointment, bitter dreams, and great attempts by refugee to live in dignity. I come from a poet's metaphor of a homeland, a grandmother's endless tales of a house whose key dangled from her neck, and the pain of being displaced from one's own land. I come from roads lit up by martyr souls, many prayers for peace, and the dream of justice. I come from so much nostalgia, to an olive tree, to stones of a house, to a little town, and to a homeland I have never seen. But I never stop using all my senses and skills to depict its details. I come from a people exposed to catastrophes, to massacres, to displacement, and to obliteration of their very identity, and to a lot of grief. I come from refugee aid relief, from the exhaustion and determination of generations. And from when I wrote it, it was 68 years, and now we are just counting years. So, and from 71 years of looking for an identity and a homeland. I come from rejection of an unjust history written by people of power and by those who manipulate. I come from a nation who will exist as long as the spirit of the homeland remains alive inside them. I come from a song longing for salvation. I come from Palestine.
I am the matter of earth and moon, integral to life, sans blood or sap, resistant, resilient, without any passion. I am the substance in every foundation. I am quarried, blasted, sliced and shaped, polished, worn and vaunted. I am stone. I am stone. A stone to build the western wall, a stone to build the first temple, the stone where Abraham's son was bound, the Moriah stone creating holy ground, the stone that hit Goliath's crown, the great mosque stone where Muslims bow down, set in stone and written in blood from the Golan Heights to the Dead Sea lows, Palestine stoned. The Kaaba stone, 5 times a day, 7 times around, it's time to pray. Placed by Muhammad, where Mecca stands, blackened by sins from every land. The Zionist stone of fears and fences, scattered stones like spiteful sentences, set in stone and written in blood from the Golan Heights to the Dead Sea lows, palace of stone, stone. The quarry stone on which Jesus was hung, the stone on which he was praised and he was sung, the dome of rock where the prophet ascended, the stone where the children never surrendered. Stones have witnessed through the ages as paperweight on mendacious pages, set in stone and written in blood from the Golan Heights to the Dead Sea lows, Palestine stone. a stone to sling when the soldiers attack. The rock and the hard place, front and back. Hills of stone, grabbed and taken. Stones that lie when names are misshapen. An abacus stone to count the score. Oh, here's another settlement, there will be more. Set in stone and written in blood, from the Golan Heights to the Dead Sea lows, Palestine stone. Time is ticking as the shadow advances. Sacrifice lives on the cold slab sundial. The dustpan of Gaza will be swept, bulldozed into the sea. The West Bank, bankrupt. Palestine a pale stone. And Israel is real, is all. One pale stone in a desert of rock. But words of stone pave a way to peace. So use your kidney stone to lose your excess peace. The future. Who's got the plan to bridge this stony, tenuous tenure? Who will cast the first stone to make the first date? Who are the gemstones to meet and contemplate? So chip away at the fear that encrusts, turn leaf and leave no stone to rust. Remember Mahatma, Gandhi, Martin, Luther, King, Nelson Mandela. Resolution? What? A stone's throw away? So get the ball rolling, and the rolling stone gathers. The answer lies in me. I am stone. S-T-O-N-E. Permeable. The answer lies in you. S-T-O-N-E. Saint One. Conglomerate. So reach, like stalagmite to stalactite, breach the hole in the wall and touch.
Loader and myself and others from Chifrel went back to Palestine this year. We went first time last year, and this year we went gathering stories. One of the people who impressed me was a lady called Mahasaka, who's made it her life's work to record the culture of Palestinians, especially through wedding dresses. And through interviewing her and doing some other research, I created a piece about a wedding dress, similar to the one, a richer version of what you can see up there. And the poem refers to the central chest area, which is not sort of random symbols or pleasing designs, but each one has a meaning from a particular place. So it's part of the particular culture and the particular culture of specific places that's kept in the Palestinian tradition. And this poem, which Riham's kindly going to read out, is sort of researched about all that history, about Jaffa, the history of Jaffa in this case. Thank you.
Okay, just if you hear me say the kubba, this is what he referred to. So just to make the link. The kubba of Jaffa. Fetch me الثوب حبيبتي from the old chest with the silver clasps, and sit down here with me and listen to my story. Ah, Jaffa, Jaffa, how I miss you. I love to run free as a ghazal, habibti. Past the camels resting and the boats pulled up on the beach. Splinters of the morning sun dancing in the sea, my bare feet in the surf and the wind in my hair. Or walk in the cool moonlight through the orange groves with the scented blossom. Quickly past the dark shade of the cypress and sit at Mama's stool, embroidering al-kubba. What do you see in it, Habibti? All that I saw in Jaffa. A coffee bean, orange petals, a moon like a pointed star. The Pasha's tent, our house with 2 stories, with a ladder to reach and feathers, feathers everywhere, and looking inland the rising mountains of Al-Quds. Oh, how my eyes strained and fingers ached till Mama made me go to bed. And I dream of the day the merchant would cut the cloth and I'd ride to my bridegroom on my white horse. Then the Jews with guns came, and we crowded the boats. My precious kubba in my school satchel, until sick from the waves, we landed safe at Gaza. So my dress was made. Though my mother didn't live to stitch on the pieces, and it's not the linen of Majdal, but what the souk provided. Keep it safe, Habibti. Keep it safe. This will be your wedding dress, inshallah. And your daughters, for the day will be free from the river to the sea. Thank you.
We should get performers of the same size every night.
One of the people we met last April was someone I've heard about for quite some time, and I've been receiving his emails. His name's Mazen Kumsea, and he calls himself the Bedouin, a Bedouin from outer space, and he's completely global in his outlook, while specifically Palestinian at the same time. And he gave a speech he just gave a talk really to some visitors. I was one of those visitors, and I made few notes on my phone, and I went away, and a few days later I was waiting nervously at Ben Gurion Airport for the usual interrogation on the way out, but it didn't happen. But what I did do as I was waiting was to write this thing. So it's called I Am Mazen. I am Mazen. My Christian ancestors fought crusaders, and I fight your failed Zionism. I am Mazen, doctor. The patient is sick. The diagnosis is colonialism. The prognosis, one country. The therapy is resistance, which heals my spirit, as apathy is a worse disease. I am Mazen, lean, short-sighted, seeing three paths for resolution. Algeria's model 1 million killed, 1 million expelled. Colonizer exterminates the native. Colonizer, colonized, learn to live together. The common outcome, and so I hope. I am Mazen, returned from America. Resistance is costly. In 11 years, 19 close friends killed, 30,000 shot in Gaza's Great Return March. I am Mazen from Beit Sahur. We trained Rachel Curry in non-violent resistance, but could not make her bones strong enough to carry the bulldozer's weight. I am Mazen. I know with Biko that most potent weapon of the oppressor, the mind of the oppressed. So be an actor, not consumer. I am Mazen. I respect my enemy, even as he kneels on me and cracks my rib. I refuse to hate. I am Mazen, ecologist. One dominant species signals disturbed ecosystem. It never lasts. People or nature, resilience comes through diversity. I am Mazen and want that universal declaration which Israel signed of human rights to be enacted. thanks to Mazen on his words.
Martin is coming here, isn't he?
Yes, on the 27th of July.
Is he coming here?
Yes, he's doing.
Do you want to see my photographs? I've never had so many people to watch my photographs. These are from all this April. 12th of April to the 23rd. Came back in St George's Day. Who is also the patron saint of Palestine.
Palestinian.
Palestinian.
George.
St George. Did I say St George?
Palestinian.
This is a poem, hopefully with some hope. For the oppressed whose dreams are stolen every day, it is a need to have a strong faith, to believe in a great cause, to hope that the light at the end of the tunnel is a sun ray, and the disappointing silence surrounding them is but a pause. It is a need to have a strong faith, to believe in a great cause, reassured that their martyr souls are immortal somewhere, and the disappointing silence surrounding them is just a pause before the tune of inevitable liberation will fill the air. Reassured their martyr souls are immortal somewhere, and their every present heartbreak is just the last, before the tune of inevitable liberation will fill the air, and soon a future comes to heal the grief of the past. Thank you.
So this is our penultimate piece. As David said, this April we went over there gathering stories. We went over there previous year to offer a story and a show. We also went over there listening to stories as well, and through our experience last year we realised that the people of Palestine really want to tell their stories. They really want to be heard by the outside world, so we thought, let's go back there and listen. So we set up 3 2-hour workshops, which ended up as 3 3-hour workshops. I kept them in longer. No, they volunteered to stay. Really wanted more. One was in Hakawati, the Palestinian National Theatre in Jerusalem, with some young people. The second was the Aida refugee camp in Bethlehem, and the third was at Bizait. Did I say that right? Bizait University in Ramallah. So we had these workshops where we told them a little bit about what we had done the previous year, and then really invited them to share their stories with each other in Arabic, in small groups. Then they decided to choose one which they translated into English for us to record and bring back to England, obviously with their permission. That's what we're hoping to do in the future, so perhaps September, October time there will be a new show with these stories. As we're over there, people out here now, I'm sure you've been to Palestine, and you are told stories. You get into a conversation very, very easily, and people want to share their news of who they are and what's happening to them and their lives. So we met many, many people everywhere. We found that one of the best places for sharing stories, or listening stories, is a taxi. Really, the best place to, it is, yeah? Is that a Palestinian sort of tradition, culture, or?
Everywhere.
Is it happens everywhere? Okay. Okay. It's just that I didn't speak to many taxis. Well, actually, I don't get many taxis in England. I'm missing out.
I was in a taxi here, and they started
And you had to go.
shouting.
So I should get rid of my car. Yeah. I do talk to myself quite a lot in the car. But anyway. So yes, getting into a taxi and talking to somebody and sort of asking them to take us to whatever, and then saying, "Could you tell us a story?" It was a he, the taxi drivers. Most of the taxi drivers were he's over in Palestine. So they would know how long the journey was, and they knew what story to tell. So we had a beautiful concert, didn't we, as well, with that one guy in Bethlehem taking us to checkpoint 300. Yeah, he talked about music, band he was in. So I said, "Could you sing us a song?" All the windows went up. No, sound effects from outside, and he started singing, and still driving. That's great. Yeah, some great experiences. Actually, and also there was a taxi driver who took me somewhere. I think it was Batir, and I had been told the story in Palestine last year about how the Celtic football fans really got behind Palestine and waved their flags when they played against an Israeli team in Glasgow. It's there, is it? Yeah. And it was wonderful that I could tell the taxi driver in Palestine about that story. He didn't know it. He was so excited, he continued driving, searching for it on Google. So I just encouraged him.
And singing.
And singing, yes, singing. And
Who was driving?
Yeah, I took over the wheel at that point. But he, it was an extraordinary moment to share some news about Palestine with a Palestinian in Palestine. So that was great. This story I'm about to tell you happened to David and I in a taxi back from Jerusalem at midnight. You know the adage, you get what you ask for? We got this story, and it's very strong. It's a very harrowing story. I think that's the word for it with me. So I'll tell you the story. It is midnight, and we stand outside the Jerusalem Hotel under fluorescent light. Yellow fireflies, taxis dash and dart, skim and skate across rubber, polished tarmac of ink-stained night, reflecting the city of eternal light in flashes of phosphorescent orange hues. Jerusalem, fabled city of kings and jinns, prophets and saviours, blood and feud. A yellow body of light drifts towards us and hovers by the curbside. We, like spellbound moths, are drawn by its warming glow inside. Checkpoint 300. 60 shekels, I say. Yes, my friend, no problem. The words slide from tongue to lips, clear and precise. Hair, cut with meticulous care, and impeccably shaven face complement the clipped tones and linear profile that runs ruler straight from forehead to nose tip. We fasten ourselves in, succumbed by the firefly's luminescent glow, and take off in flight, surrendering to what is to become the ride of our lives. Where are you from? England. Welcome. First time? Second. You are welcome, my dear. What is your name? Fadi. I am Michael, and this is David. Could you tell us a story? There are many stories here. We are occupied, our freedom taken. We have many problems. Gaza cannot be described or understood by others. That is a general story, says David. We want to hear your story. Our driver pauses for a moment, perhaps unused to a blunt speaking Englishman, and silence fills the yellow seal cocoon. We disappear grub-like into a dimly lit tunnel, descending towards blinding, binding, oncoming lights, flashing a warning of what is to come, and Fadi begins his tale, inescapable, as we head towards our fate, inexorable. I tell you about a woman, a doctor, who lived in Gaza. I would go, wait at the Rafah checkpoint, then drive her to the hospital in Ramallah. She was a heart surgeon. She was married, with children. She was rich, a beautiful woman and very intelligent. The journey was long and we talked many things. I was taxi for her for 2 years, and I was her driver many times, and we know each other well. The car stops, and the cab is flooded with an eerie red light that illuminates and sharpens our driver's profile. But the story is still racing along neural pathways, flying through the bloodstream and arteries of disputed territory. We hum along with wings outstretched, drifting between highways and byways of shadow and light. We drift into a trance, lulled by the engine's soft drone and our driver's hypnotic, mesmeric tone. Then one day she asks me, "What do you want?" I say, "What do you mean?" She says, "What do you want? I can buy for you." I say, "I have everything I want, everything I need." "But your family," she says, "what do they need?" I say, "We don't need anything, thank you." But she asks me again and again, "Tell me, what do you want? Something, anything." But I say, "Nothing, no, thank you. Nothing, thank you." Then she says she wants to leave Gaza. I say, "But this is your home." She says, "But my family, the bombs, the danger." I say, "You are a doctor, you can help people here." She says, "But my family, the danger, I cannot stay here." Then I don't see her for a long time. We are sealed in the vacuum of the yellow cocoon as words and wheels weave seamless without a waver. Blind and numb, deaf and dumb to the external world of passing ghosts in the spectral light. And like the Quran chanting Hafiz, our teller has cast a sacred spell and our magic carpet flies on autopilot, diving headlong towards our inevitable destination. Then one day, I take this lady to Al-Quds, Jerusalem. And we talk, and she's family of the doctor. She knows the doctor. She says the doctor found a boat to take her 2 boys and husband out of Gaza for $15,000. But they can only sail in the zone at nighttime. We climb a hill, then descend negotiating potholes, whilst navigating the crests of Mediterranean waves. Signs and cones give roadside warning, whilst boys mark the deadline where no one can cross and remain without mourning. We plunge deeper into the ink-stained ocean of the night as darting cars and lurking lorries lie in the shadows and shallows along the bearing that we have been set. Inexorabilis, inexorabilis. On the second day at sea, her boy is sick, and 2 more days, he is dead. The captain says, I take you back. The doctor says, no, we go on, we have paid. The captain says the body must be thrown in the sea. No dead body in my boat. She says, no. The captain wants more money. She says, we will pay. The father says, no, we will not pay. The captain says, then throw him over. The father says to his wife, the doctor, we will not pay. Our son is dead. What is difference where we bury him? He is dead. But she says no and holds him tight. That night, the father takes the boy and throws him over. The real has faded into illusion. The surreal, now a vile, razor, sharp delusion. For we did not plug our ears against the siren warning, and sipping the intoxicating lotus sweet has blown our minds on this voyage voyeuristique. In the morning, she wakes and looks for the boy, but only finds the dead body. Where is our son? Where is our son? Where is our son? She screams, and the father knows he has thrown over the wrong boy. And he jumps into the sea and drowns. We vent our repulsion, repugnant. We gag and vomit with horror before being thrown up onto the hellish, sickening shore, spitting and gasping, ears splitting and hands grasping to escape the shocking jolt of the car crash we were always heading for. The doctor returns to Gaza alone, and now she runs along the beach, shouting, have you seen my sons? Have you seen my boys? Have you seen my sons? Have you seen my boys? A lonely woman on the shore, searching, roaming, wildly unsure, singing a lullaby, singing a beautiful lullaby for her boys that will never see the light no more.
Well, I think after this story it will be really hard for me to wrap up kind of this program that my friends are doing here. I really appreciate how much you are in touch, guys, with the stories in Palestine and sharing them. They asked me to perform something and I said, maybe I sing a song. This is a new thing for me. I don't sing usually, but this is something new. And they like my voice, so I said I can sing. I decided to sing a love song, but it has also some melancholy and some kind of missing home as well, which I think would be a nice wrap up for this evening. Okay, enjoy it.
يمكن بكرة الحبيب يمرق مثل الغريب
أسرار وبتعرف أحزاني ابقى امرق لعهك الدار وقله ما ينساني.
Thank you very, very much for Alissar for starting us off this evening. And Rihan. All the way from Yorkshire.
Bradford.
David. And all those people that sort of have touched us in our lives and brought us together tonight. Michael Loader.
So briefly, I am a theatre director, performance artist, and an actress. I've been acting since 2006 or 2005. 2012, after my long period of acting, I joined an MA degree at Goldsmiths in London, performance making. And then from that time, 2013, I came back to Palestine and I started to do more independent work. So not just acting for other theatre productions, I wanted to do my own work. I'm based in Bethlehem, a town also in Bethlehem. I founded my little gallery, like I call it Art Salon, in my great-grandfather's house. I teach as well drama and theatre practice in university at Dar al-Kalima Art College, so I'm a teacher as well. And I do my own work as an artist, as my practice. I'm a multidisciplinary, as you've seen, like I sing, I dance, I use video in my work. And yeah, I mix all of these mediums together in a performance, because I really love also visuals and video particularly, and music. There's a lot that I can share with you about my work, but then I said, I'm in Bristol. I worked with this, the Alternativity last year, 2017. It was, I think, broadcasted December 2017, so a year and a half. So I thought that would be a nice thing to share with you. And then if you have any questions, if I met thanks you. In Bethlehem there is the Waldorf Hotel. Have you heard about it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's Banksy's hotel, and he founded it, I think 2015 or 2016. I don't know. And he advertises it as the worst view ever. Of course, it's by the wall. But to give you the context of that area, is like there is the wall, but it's also the checkpoint that kind of from all, like if I want to go from Bethlehem to Jerusalem, then I have to pass this checkpoint, which is a big checkpoint, segregation checkpoint. And in there, I cannot pass if I don't have a permission. So in a way, it's in a very critical place. And as well, there's also a refugee camp next to it as well. I'm not a big fan of that hotel. So in a way, the manager of this hotel calls me one day and he tells me, the manager, who is a Palestinian, who's also from Bethlehem, and he tells me to come and meet this amazing director, Danny Boyle. And then I said, of course, if it's Danny Boyle, I'm going to come. And then this all you can see on the documentary, because the BBC were also filming this whole process for Danny Boyle coming and meeting with me and doing this work with Banksy. So the idea was, Banksy wanted to do a nativity story at the car park of his hotel in an alternative way, which brings up the politics of the nowadays. Because Bethlehem in your heads is the beautiful biblical story, probably not in your heads, but in most Christian heads. But actually what is happening now in Bethlehem, that there is Christmas, but there is also occupation. So we were trying he wanted to do this kind of a twist of the modern nativity. He emails Danny Boyle and he tells him because you're like, if he can come to Palestine and direct this work, because he made the Olympics very appealing to the UK people, and then he can do the same thing at the car park. Why? Because the car park of his hotel is is really by the wall. Nobody would want to come and see a play by the wall. So Danny Boyle comes, and then he asks for a Palestinian director to work with, and he meets with me. I am at a point he tries explaining me this project, and and then he asks me, what do you think about Banksy? And I say, from where should I start? Kind of. Because really, literally, I was very honest to him. I told him, I respect Banksy and I respect all his work, what he done, but I think I'm critical a little bit about this hotel, because I really don't like this idea of using the wall as kind of an attraction and coming to paint and then coming back and then going back home. So it's a bit, and then sometimes taking photos and going back home, it's a bit sensitive, like using the wall in that context, as in marketing or as in business. That's my side, and there's a lot of Palestinians who agrees with me. They don't like that use. But there's other side that say, no, it's great, it brings in more tourists to the place, there is more people who can be aware. But I think, in my humble opinion, that engaging with the community is like what you're doing, guys, and like going to refugee camps and really engaging with the community teaches you more than just going to the hotel. But yeah, that's my opinion. So we did the play, and I agreed to be there because I said, okay, so there is Danny Boyle, there's Banksy, there's the BBC, everybody has their own view, but also if you want to engage in a Palestinian context, then it should be a Palestinian context. So I agreed to be there so as to put the voices of Palestine really up, and not just to follow what any other agenda wanted to put Palestine on the BBC. Because I was thinking also that it will be for a UK audience, an international audience. So one of the things that I feel like I was proud of to do in that the BBC for the first time, I think, in terms of doing a show about Palestine, they were not neutral. Which means that I said directly to them, boycott, I am with BDS. You cannot put me as a Palestinian artist and then decide to go to Israel and put an Israeli context and then put it in one documentary. You cannot. If you're doing a show about Palestine and in Bethlehem, you should show the story of the Palestinians. And that was a strong battle to do, until, of course, the producers were a bit I needed to educate them a little bit about what is BDS, so it was a long process. So I wasn't just the artist in there, I was also the activist in that sense. I also tried to put different kind of talents, because I didn't want to show, the poor kind of Palestinian, what they can do and how they are living in Bethlehem. I wanted to show that there's a lot of amazing talents in Palestine and in Bethlehem especially, because this is where the story is, and bring them on surface. So we decided to make just like a kid play, like a children play, but in a context that already the politics of the place can be very political, just doing that play and the wall is behind you is political. So we don't have to make the kids be very political. So we just let them be kids. So we had it in a modern time, like the angels were like, you know, having mobile phones, texting each other. Mary will be, they texted Mary that she will be born, that she will have a baby, a Jesus. So it was really playful. And I had a choir of 60 kids, also singing, coming from backgrounds from Christians and Muslims, which is a great thing because like that's not shown on media, that actually Muslims also celebrate the nativity, Christmas in a way. They do feel with us as well. And I had kind of also like, we've chosen like what is the nowadays of our wise men. And we thought it would be really cool to have a rap group being our wise men, but they were our wise women because they are a young rap group from the Hesha camp from Bethlehem. And I thought that they are brilliant and they sing about freedom. And I will share with you now what they have been singing. So in a way, like putting all of these things, all of these like people or like groups. I also had a puppet group from Hebron, Khalil, which is also an independent kind of a puppet theater company. So I wanted to show all of these talents in that play. So you can see the whole documentary, of course, online, the alternativity. But I also downloaded the play because I think the play shows more about the work that I have done with Danny Boy. So me and Danny Boy co-directed the work together. But the documentary is speaking about the Waldorf Hotel and the whole process of making this show. Okay, so it's called the Alternativity. Do you want to see some rap? The rap group. I'm making advertising for them. Okay. This is not the rap still. This is Mary, Virgin Mary. She has a beautiful voice.
Astrologers tell us that behind every wise man stand an جواتي حرة بيت جواتي حرة.
I thought you're gonna like this song. This is just the final word. Maybe for you to see what's kind of.
Didn't think about acting, but they're like very happy they got to do it.
Maybe just.
Well, they were as happy as pie. They were so, you could see they were enraptured by it, weren't they?
The audience, yeah.
Oh, they were, it was just...
They're just like this.
Yeah, it was so...
Looking at everything.
That was so cool. It was really nice.
أنا سعيدة كثير اليوم، خاصة إنه كانت هي تجربتي الأولى على المسرح بدون الدمى. أنا سعيدة كثير لأنه كان الحضور كثير كبير وأدينا المهمة بنجاح، وشكرا كثير لكل حدا شاركنا في التجربة.
What I was pleased about, all of them performed.
Some of them, like, I know that they're very shy, they just like probably wouldn't think about acting, but they're like very happy they got to do it. When Alissar starts to sing, it's just like, I wanted to cry. It's just like, this girl needs to sing and perform, you know? Like, that's what I wanted in this show. For all of us to feel like proud and to have this feeling that we are doing this even in despite of this situation, you know, we're living here, we have this amazing energy and soul and talents and art, you know. That's what remains by the end of the day.
And that's, I think, participating this last week. Yeah. Anyways, you can watch that if you want, the whole play or the documentary. But I thought it's a nice moment to show you like some of the choices and the work that I had with Danny Boyle, because I really appreciated him. He was coming from a point of view where like I really want to learn rather than imposing his ideas, and he's a great director. Amazing. Yeah, that's it. If you have any comments or if you want to just talk to me in a one-to-one, or if you have any questions, let me know. Or yes, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can send you, like I can exchange emails. I'm very approachable through Facebook, Instagram, Riham Isaac, and I can give you my contact. Yeah. I mean, I just showed this, but there's a lot more to my work. That is not always political. This is maybe the most political work that I did. Yeah.
It'd be lovely if you could show that at the Palestinian Film Festival in December. I think it would be great.
Can you hear? Can
if you would come back and talk.
Yeah. At the where?
We have the Palestinian Film Festival at the beginning of December in Bristol every year.
Okay.
Here in Bristol.
Yeah, email me and maybe I can ask the producers if I can do that.
I mean, I've just so enjoyed that.
We'll connect you.
Really
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we show their films here as well. We do
Okay.
show stuff here, so we can give you relevant details.
And you can also talk to the BBC too, and
Absolutely.
or the producers, like to
The
get the
Palestine Film
rights.
Festival people will do
Because
that. They'll get the
yeah,
rights.
I think they wouldn't mind, but we just need to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they usually do
of
that.
course.
Yeah.
There's the documentary 1 hour and the play 20 minutes, and I think it's a nice wrap to show them both, and then we can have a discussion. Of course.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Would you organise a play here, like a business time?
If you invite me, yes. For the British, like what, like with the British or?
You know how many Palestinian children we can find here? I know 2 of them.
Okay. I like to organize something in Palestine and bring it here. It needs money and it's pre-production. It's not as easy.
That's last year's programme.
Perfect.
Well, you're going to be #1 this year.
Wow! Woohoo! I'm coming back, guys. It takes time to make a new production, so I would love to. Yeah.
you have, Riham, you said you do many different things. Do you do kind of like workshops, kind of like drama workshops where people can explore feelings and things?
Yeah, I do a lot of creativity workshops, and that is for anyone. Like, doesn't have to be an artist. That's part of the things that I like to do. And I do that in my space, and also go to different places and give these workshops. Yeah, juggle between all of this.
Yes.
So education and training is a lot part of my work as well.
Where are you based?
Bethlehem-based, yeah. Where there's also an emerging kind of art scene. There's like, I opened my space, art salon in my great-grandfather's house, which my friends have visited, but there's also four different spaces that opened independently, and I'm trying to be independent with no funding. Nobody's funding me.
No feeling.
No.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I rely on a lot of my friends to come and help me. But if I do workshops, then I ask people to pay. So that's how Okay.
Yeah, I just have to say you're a wonderful ambassador for the Palestinian cause.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think artists are the best ambassadors for that. So thanks for having me here. This is gonna be great. We'll come back hopefully. We'll stay in touch. And if anybody wants my contact, I do have this discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.